that school's gonna be up and running in 2 to 3 years. And I'm not sure this could be done as fast as 2 or 3 years to get a sewer line. But the treatment plant will be built. The question is, if it's built the way they have it structured now, we can put more people into it. It helps keep the cost down for everybody. So it's a benefit to the town and the schools. So I wish we could wait, Bob, but it's gonna play out like that.
But the issue with that is obviously is, you look at the school project from the school building committee's perspective, there's a certain amount of money that they've allocated or are gonna ask the town to spend. Adding to that facility is gonna cost more money, which...
Actually, no, the consultants are relaying to me, it could be the plant as sized,
Yeah.
and the money allocated, that's adequate to handle all the other municipal buildings. Be no additional cost for that. There'd be a cost to build something to get the water to it.
Right.
Which is in the
Okay.
$1 to $2 million range.
So we would have to put in some piping and pump station or something to get it up there.
So the school could literally build it and go off on their own, and then when the town, if we decide to tie in, that could be done at a later date. And that plant, from what I understand right now, has the capacity to handle that.
Yeah.
Well, that's good news.
And we bring an added benefit if we actually do tie in, because as the schools idle over the summer,
Yeah, right.
it does significantly help the
Yeah.
quality
A
of that.
biological process without food dies,
Yeah.
and literally, like I said in the other meeting, is some communities literally buy truckloads of dog food as a source of waste, of food for the biological things. It seems crazy, and that costs a lot, frankly, costs a lot of money to do something like that. So, it has a benefit for keeping the operational costs down, because once a biological treatment plant gets out of whack, it's a lot of time and effort to get all the bugs. It's like your lower colon's balance of bacteria and viruses. Once it gets out of whack, boy, this is like a laxative commercial here.
TMI.
Yeah, anyway,
Thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Yule.
No, in the audience, Warren?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I haven't been to the school department meetings, but, or the new school, meetings for the new school. Do they have a location that they've chosen for this treatment plant?
An
They
approximate
have.
area there.
Right. Essentially,
so on the east side of the property, a little up from where the new turf field is,
right,
that would be the treatment plant, and then the leaching fields would be somewhere over to the west, somewhere along that strip, probably right about where the high school is now. Once that's torn down, it's somewhere in that vicinity.
Do they have adequate room there to do it?
Um,
The basis for my question is that there is an area that has been tested and approved over by the DPW, which has really good soils, really good drainage rates. And a treatment plant built in that area, besides being adjacent to the DPW, would also have probably a higher flow capability because of the soils over there, and maybe possible to collect slightly more, including the housing, and keep it active. Again, we're paying for it. It comes from the places that are using it that would be paying for it now. So I'm just wondering if that's been considered, that location.
Right now, the school's looking just on-site. Just the
on-site.
addition of our buildings to them is the only thing we're considering. It probably is a good hydrogeologic, and they really haven't done a thorough study on the site, and they're aware of that. But the cost, again, to pump it from there all the way over there adds another $2 to $3 million to the project
or
as
if you
well.
want to see it, it's right here.
So, unfortunately, we don't have adequate places to put stuff right next to where we need it, as you're well aware.
Warren, if you want to see the area.
Yeah, Steve's bringing it.
Okay, that's school, high school.
Near the diamond there.
Essentially where that yellow dot is.
You don't know what drawing he's got.
I think that's the only one. It's gotta be the
We're
only
at the stage now, Warren, where it's just conceptual, put it here.
Right.
It's that-
Well, I understand that, but I also know soils here, so soils there are not tremendous.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a till, it's tough. And it's gonna be a difficult flow rate, I mean, as compared to the, which we've already approached the DEP on the DPW, when it's already been, to some extent approved, so, and the testing's been done over there, so. It's just a thought, it would make, again, it might cost a little more to put it in place there, but the net result would be, much higher flow capabilities, and you'll be able to capture a lot more flows, from the housing authority, from other places like that, and of course, that would eliminate your need to try to feed it during the summertime. It would have adequate flows. It might also give you the opportunity to pick up some customers that are near the river bed that might also contribute financially to the operation of it.
I'm told it's pretty good. I think they're pretty far down the road.
Calendars don't match too well. I mean, what Dick was saying is, you know, they're gonna size this thing, and for the additional couple of town hall buildings, town buildings close by, it isn't gonna impact the size.
Right.
Where what you're talking about would require, I would guess, a bigger system. And now we get into the issue of cost and
I mean, you'd have to dig up a lot of road to get it over there.
And also, until it gets connected up, then the school system is even gonna be in more jeopardy of running properly, so.
This package treatment plant they're talking about putting in,
Your point is well taken, it's just, unfortunately, the sequencing isn't
Timing.
going to work for.
it's an expandable plant though, correct? I mean, most package treatment plants are expandable.
It's kind of like a step above a package plant, they can add stuff to it, but again, it's on their property, it's kind of limited space now. I mean, it's surrounded, I think, by the athletic fields, so to have another
To
building
the
near there.
south side.
Because again, even if they expanded the plant, having the discharge site already available is the most important point. It's the hardest thing to find. It's the discharge area. And that's a discharge area, if they use a discharge area up there, it's a discharge area that was not taken into account when the wastewater committee did all their work. It's an additional area that was never actually considered. And the wastewater committee, when they did their analysis, assumed that they were gonna handle the flows of the schools. That was in addition to all the other flows, and although we were a little short with the plan, this is something, an unanticipated increase in flow area.
Interesting.
Right. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you for all the time you put into this. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good.
You done? Okay. What's the next step, Dick?
Next step
Wastewater.
for the wastewater?
Yeah, I mean, what's,
Well, where right now
short term,
is,
what's next?
most likely after the new year, to get the new committee together, and a consultant's been ready to go to brief you on where we are, what we're doing. So, I think you've seen the preliminary Gantt chart, which is one of these bunch of tasks, about 10 years' worth.
I think what we need to do then is right after the first of the year, schedule a meeting and then get this thing organized and rolling. Does that work for you?
It's rolling, it just,
Well,
it's a long process.
yeah, but I mean,
as
to
you know.
get a full committee in place.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And are we anticipating any need for funding sources in the upcoming fiscal year? We need to-
right, that's. Thank you. Dick, another reason to get this squared away is that we'll be putting together our FY 213 budget. And if we're gonna need to come up with some funding, you know, at least we need to take a look at what's achievable and, you know, what we might do or ask the town to do. Next item.
You like that? Thanks again for making the time to come
you.
tonight.
Next item is reappointments and appointments, constable, detail constables, municipal hearing officer, town treasurer, liaison to the state ethics commission, and water commission. We all set? Or
Yeah.
Sean disappeared.
Probably go without him, right?
I'm just gonna get a drink.
Okay, go Go ahead, please. Yeah, Mary Ann? So it's
No, good luck with that.
As part of the process, just want to.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So, John? Mr. Prisco.
Mr. Chairman, I move to place a nomination, the following name, for appointment or reappointment as member of the Water Commission, actually it'd be a reappointment to the Water Commission, for term to expire on December 31st, 2014. One, Josephine Fody, 25 Valley Road.
Excuse me?
Oh, I'm sorry. Joseph Fody, 25 Valley Road.
Your friend.
He's an incumbent. All right. Apologies.
I hope he's watching.
You're gonna hear from him.
Thank you.
I will second that.
Josephine?
Motion by Mr. Prisco, second by Mr. Yule. Discussion, Mr. Prisco.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my...
I'm sorry, Mr. Yule. Excuse
my committee. I had nothing to do with this, Joe, absolutely nothing. But, yes, the Water Commission is beginning to move forward on discussing the rates that are coming up. They're also looking at plans that have been started by the predecessor chair, Steve Kazaza. They're moving some of their plans forward in reviewing the needs of the Water Commission at this time. So Joe is taking the lead on that. Our biggest issue with the Water Commission is membership. We only have 3 members at this time, and we truly, truly need someone to come forward and participate in this commission. It's a good commission. It has some very important roles for the town, and if there is someone out there that is have some experience with water, or who is interested in how the town uses its water, please come forward, and we will consider your application. But as I said, Joe is beginning to move things right along.
One concern I have, Jeff, is that I think in our policy, we're supposed to review the water rates in November. My understanding is that part of that's been an issue related to getting the water commissioners
Together.
together.
Yes, that's been an issue. In fact, we had a meeting scheduled the other night, and we did not have a quorum. And that's because we're down to 3. And that's a direct result of Carol Bork and Steve Kazaza resigning. Had they not resigned, we would have been in a better position to move forward. But unfortunately, if we're not able to get another member, and if we continue to have not meet quorum requirements, it's going to fall back on our shoulders, and we're going to have to just move forward, unfortunately. But I know Joe said he's trying to find some people. I don't know if anybody here has any idea or any recommendations that they think they can make. I'll be more than glad to give them a call and talk to them about it.
Yeah, I think I have one for you. May have it, a citizens' activity record for you within the next week or 2.
Oh, that'd be great.
Hopefully that'll help.
Okay,
I'll talk about that later.
further discussion?
I think
Just one point about the recommendation in November, since we've structured now based on a fiscal year. Until early December, you really don't have the second quarter's billings out to find out where you think your estimated revenues are gonna be, so it's kinda hard to
Do you
give
think
that.
we should change our policy?
Well,
It's okay.